Hey everybody, Sarah at Nova again. And it's early March and it's got to be 60 plus degrees out here. Beautiful sunny day. A little creepy, but means the park is active. Good day to be outside. I've actually been outside tinkering on this beauty and a couple other things as much as I can today. Um, and this skate park with all ages of people in here, little kids on skateboards and people on BMX bikes, freestyle bikes, reminds me of being a kid. Reminds me of this motorcycle to a certain degree. And there's this definite through line we see from things like skateboards, BMX bikes, to motorcycles like this. This is a KE100 Kawasaki. I think this one's a 76, although I should double check that. I've been calling it a 76, but I haven't actually verified that. But it's 1970s dirt bike. My connection to this bike is my very first motorcycle when I was 14 years old. Just stopped riding skateboards every day, basically, because I got too cool for it. I bought a 1969 Kawasaki C2TR for 20 bucks from a kid named Chad. Pushed it home. It never ran. Went away for the summer, came back. The motor was seized. And long story short, it took me till I was 27 years old to actually ride that bike. But I still have it. And it is a precursor to this. Very similar. Single cylinder, small displacement, two-stroke, Kawasaki dirt bike. Rotary valve, rotary intake, which means it's not just a piston port intake. There's an actual disc down here. The carburetor is down here. As you see, the cables come in here. Carburetor on the side. Kawasaki didn't invent it, but they used it on a lot of their dirt bikes and street bikes of the 60s into the 70s. The KE100 gets its roots from the Kawasaki G3 just before it, also 100cc. My C2TR was actually 120cc, so I'm not bragging, but a little bit bigger. But what this bike represents is basically the biggest little bike you could buy. It's not a mini bike; it's a full-size motorcycle to a degree. And if you were a kid, if you were 15 years old looking at this thing, it's like a full-size bike. But obviously it's not a racing 250. It's not going to go, flipping over backwards on you and be incredibly dangerous to ride. So your parents will let you ride it. It's not terribly expensive to buy at the time. They're really pretty affordable. They made a bunch of them so you could get parts for them. It was just, popular, cheap, good, fun. They made this bike into this millennium, into 2000 something. I don't know exactly when they stopped. But they didn't do that many changes to it as they made it through the model years. So it was sort of their basic, very small, the smallest of their big dirt bikes. And, they're a ton of fun. We actually have built another one of these. If you look back through our videos, there's one of me riding it through our shop for fun. We built it for my uncle who was big into dirt bikes in the 70s. And we took a KE100 and we put a Suzuki 125 front end and bigger shocks on the rear end, put a pipe on it and tuned it a little bit. So we made it into a much more aggressive little mini motocrosser, taking away some of the easy rideability of it, but also made it a little faster and fun. But it took the tuning, no problem, and it was super fun to ride. These as they are just, almost anybody can ride them. They're two strokes. They have a little bit of a power band, but nothing like a crazy motocrosser would, nothing like the CRs of the 70s or 80s, anything like that. So they're simple. Not the most heavy-duty bikes. They're small. As I say, it's a large mini bike or the biggest small bike, the smallest big bike you can get. You have an 18-inch rear, and there's just a 19-inch front, whereas typically most of the serious motorcycles, dirt bikes, are running 21s. Pretty spindly little forks here. I want to say that's like a 29. Pretty small. Pretty small all around. So if you do actually ride them off-road in a serious way, you get into some interesting situations pretty quick. But for cow trails, dirt roads, and most light-duty single track, they're a ton of fun. They struggle when you get into the serious stuff. But most people riding dirt aren't getting that serious on it anyway, so they can actually keep up okay. Let's see. This one here is interestingly, just for some tuning. If you look at some of our other shorts from a couple weeks ago, we have one where there's a crankcase just full of oil. That was this bike. The oil pump had failed on this thing. This is oil injected, so you keep your oil separate, gets injected, runs through the motor, burns with the fuel, goes out the pipe. but the oil pump had failed, so the person who owns it was just running premix, thinking they were bypassing the oil pump. What they didn't realize was that the oil pump was still allowing, when it was parked, allowing oil to drain from the tank through the pump into the crankcase. So it just filled up the crankcase with oil and made all sorts of mess, leaking everywhere, all, that kind of thing. So we did that. We cleaned that out, and the bike runs much better now. But now it's got some tuning issues that I'm trying to dial in. I've been playing with the carb, seeing if I can do something quick and easy on it. But now I've basically got to a point where it's silly to do any more carb tuning without looking at the timing. I'm doing this backwards, timing before jetting always. I was trying to get away with something, see if I could just do a little adjustment. But I'm stopping myself and saying, no, I got to really make sure what's happening with the ignition is okay before I go back and figure out the carb. But anyway, I'm having a hoot just ripping around on it. On a day like this, it's just a simple motorbike, and it's really fun just to get on and just do some quick laps, a couple of burnouts, a couple of wheelies, have a little bit of fun. Yeah, so chime in with your first motocross memories, your first dirt bike memories, if you have any, or if you had, what bike did you want when you were 15 years old? Because that says a lot about what we end up buying when we're older and we have a few bucks in our pocket. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and happy riding.